breaking things. Hey, welcome to today's Q&A. Thanks for joining me today. Knocking over things here in the background. Uh, Hope you guys are having an awesome Tuesday. Every week we go live here on our YouTube channel to answer questions and hopefully bring a little bit of insight to you on what Decker Truckline is all about. And, kind of go over some of the company policies, procedures, a little bit of that, but mostly just answering available positions, getting to know the type of equipment that we have, and benefits and all that jazz. So, if you are wondering or have questions or anything like that, please put it in the chat so that I can answer them. So as I read them, or as I receive them, I'll read them out loud and answer the questions. And of course, I'll give you some of the details ahead of time too, just in case you're not sure what to ask, just kind of want to know a little bit more about Decker. Well, I'll feed you that information as well. So my name is Jessie here at Decker Truckline. Decker has been around since a long time, 1931. And so, yeah, it's been around for quite some time. And we are both refrigerated dry van as well as flatbed mostly. Now, we do have some other positions that are currently full right now, like our Conestoga. We have a hopper trailer, things like that. But mostly we are refrigerated van and flatbed. So currently, the positions that we have are over-the-road refrigerated and more of a regional refrigerated as well. And we'll talk about the out time, where you can expect to run. And then with the flatbed division, we have a more regional, and then we have an over-the-road option as well. So we'll give you some details on that. Hey, Dean, how are you? Shorts weather, he says, in Mississippi. He's bragging about that because he knows that I'm here in Montana and it is cold. Hey, who's HT Mail? Good to see you. 701. When I see 701, I automatically think North Dakota. That's a North Dakota area code, right? 701? I'm pretty sure it is. It's been a while. Anyways, so thanks you guys for joining me today. Where was I going with the details on the refrigerated and flatbed division? Actually, before even that, Fort Dodge, Iowa is our main terminal. That's where it all started. So Fort Dodge, Iowa, that's where we do orientation. We've got some of our operations, our safety, or just all the way across. A lot of our team is there in Fort Dodge. Des Moines also, we have a lot of our operations and maintenance, of course, in Des Moines. That is more of a recent addition because we were located elsewhere and then we readjusted. We brought everything into the Des Moines area because it's more of a through hub. It was a better location with where our freight was at or is at, and so it makes it easier on all of our professional drivers and some of our lease purchase and owner operators as well for getting maintenance done on the truck. So that's been a win since, let's see, how long has it been? 2017? Dean is my memory bank. He usually remembers the dates better than I do. So I rely on him. So yeah, we've been doing that. Actually, it might have been a little bit later. I think it was actually 19 or 20, wasn't it, Dean? When the Des Moines shop came about. Now, Fort Dodge, like I said, that's our main terminal. We've got our maintenance shop, our trailer and truck shop. We have our decals. We have, just the full on, all of the details there, body shop and everything. Then we have a terminal in Bessemer, Alabama. That's more flatbed than it is a combination, but we do have a little bit of both there. Definitely flatbed out of there. And especially more on the over-the-road side. And then we also have a terminal in Hammond, Indiana, a shop in Hammond. We have a terminal in Missoula, Montana with a shop and, of course, the terminal location as well. So shop, truck wash, a lot of amenities as well for you, like a private rooms, let's see what else, showers, laundry facilities, a lot of that available as well in Bessemer. So Dean says, not even close. It was after COVID, I think 2021, he says. Yeah, I think it was wasn't it mid-COVID, actually, now that you say that? Sean, there you go. Sean Frisbee there Frisbee in Great Falls, day 2, huh? Good, man. Good to have you. Yeah, so it's been a lot, not as long as I thought. But yeah, we've got the terminal there in Des Moines, which makes life a little bit easier. Oh yeah, the logistics office was there a little bit long ago. So we do have, for those of you who don't know, we've got, of course, Decker Truck Line, which is more assets, trucks, trailers, and then we also have a logistics company as well, Decker Logistics, and they obviously do more of the brokerage freight and work with independent contractors and stuff as well. But yes, we've got both. The shop, though, I think it was it must have been 2021, like he was saying. I was trying to remember when it actually opened. It was a work in progress for a while, but um, yeah, the terminal or the shop in Des Moines doesn't have the some of the amenities for our drivers as some of the other locations. It doesn't have the washer and dryer. It doesn't have the showers. It does have a small kitchenette. But that said, we do have not trucks, but we have cars available there that you can sign out and go run your errands. And it's not that far from a laundry facility and showers and stuff like that to one of the truck stops. So that we definitely make sure that you have access to one of the cars so that you can go run your errands during the truck while the truck is getting an A or B service. Trying to make it easy on you so you have a little bit of time to take care of that. Now, in some of the other locations, Fort Dodge being our main one, like I said, we have the showers, we have the laundry facilities, we have some private rooms where you can just kind of relax and chill. We even if your truck is going to be a while and it's in the shop, you're not obviously going to be able to access it when it's in the shop and under repairs. So we do have the more like our Decker motel that you can go get a room in as well, so that you can get the rest that you need and have that downtime. So we've got that available in Fort Dodge, and of course, all the other amenities there for our professional drivers. Now, if you have a dog, if you're somebody who brings a dog with you, we do have a dog wash in Fort Dodge. We also have designated dog areas. Now, we do ask that you please keep your dog on a leash, and then, of course, if you're not with them, that they're kenneled. If you're taking a shower and they're with you, make sure that they're kenneled so that everybody is safe and in their own comfort, because obviously not everybody's dog people. Not everybody is. So we want to respect that. But there are like areas for the dogs to play and stuff at a couple of the different locations. Missoula as well. And in Missoula, we've got our shop and our operations. We have the designated dog areas. We have, of course, a barbecue area, just more of a common area for you, and the different private rooms to accommodate you. And also in Missoula, we have a car that you can sign out as well. We've got a couple cars that you can sign out and run the errands that you need to and get that done. If you need to go get groceries, well, Liam and Ken and the crew are taking care of your truck, giving an A or B service. You've got that covered. Cool? All right. Excellent. So that said, let's talk about the different positions that we actually have available currently. Our over-the-road refrigerated division, it runs coast to coast. In that division, you're going to see more of the West, Washington, Oregon, California. Now I'm talking running lanes right now. The current available hiring areas are more like we have availability out of Las Vegas, Northern Oregon, from really anywhere along 90 from Seattle to Spokane, Missoula, Montana. We have availability out of Wyoming, the Cheyenne area. We also have some in Denver, Colorado area. So we've got a couple of different locations that we do hire for our over-the-road refrigerated division. Just keep in mind that it is coast to coast. You're usually out 2 to 3 weeks at a time, home for 4 to 5 days, depending on how long you stay out. So if you tend to stay out on the longer end, obviously you're going to get a little bit more home time. Figure a day and a half for every 7 days you're out. That's pretty normal for us. Now, in our other refrigerated division, they kind of mold together. So in our other refrigerated division, you still could be seen running out west. Maybe not as much, but we do have runs that run into Colorado, run into, like I said, sometimes California, Utah for sure, Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City is also one of our hiring areas for the West. And that one, you're probably going to run a lot more Midwest and towards the east in that division. That's 11 days out and 3 days home. So you're getting home a little bit more often, but that's because of where you're located at and where our freight lanes run, like the majority of our freight lanes. So Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, real strong freight lanes. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Missouri, of course, northern Missouri, and of course the Kansas City area, also very good for us. Into Texas, Amarillo is a good area for us. We do hire out of there. Up north towards Guymon, Oklahoma, so from Amarillo up to Guymon, good lanes for us. We also have some availability from, in between Texas and the Carolinas, but not all locations are within the refrigerated area. So I definitely suggest, and I probably should have mentioned this earlier, if you're wondering about a specific area and you want to put it in the chat, that'll work. Zip code or city and state, either one will work, and I can tell you what we have out of there and what running lanes you can expect. Otherwise, this telephone number that keeps flying across the screen here, 877-433-2537, that telephone number is to my recruiting department. So our recruiting department can help answer any questions on availability, give you the details on your rate of pay per mile, which, by the way, your rate of pay per mile is going to be based on your experience level. So I'll come back to that here in just 1 second. But that said, the 877-433-2537, that is directly to the recruiting department. You can also apply online at drivedecker.com and in the upper right-hand corner, drivedecker.com. Okay, so back to the rate of pay per mile. That's based on your experience level. So if you have, if you're brand new into the industry, then your rate of pay per mile is at our lower end, and then you work your way up. You'll get, if you're brand new to the industry, you'll get quarterly raises your first year, and then you'll get annual raises after that. If you have experience, say you have, give me an idea here, for flat or for refrigerated, say you have 6 months of experience, you're going to be looking at starting at 55 cents a mile. You'll get a penny raise after 90 days, and then you'll get penny raise annually. Someone who has 10 plus years of experience here in the industry, you're looking at 65 cents a mile to start, and then you'll get a penny raise after 90 days, so you'll be at 66 cents a mile after your first 90, and then you'll have annual raises after that. Now the cap right now is at 70 cents a mile, and if you've been following us, continue to follow us, because it sounds like that information may be updated here in the near future. So stay tuned for more details on that. But yes, your rate of pay per mile is going to be based on your experience level. That said, and 10 cents per mile is per diem, so you're not taxed on 10 cents a mile. So you've got, what did I say? If you had 10 plus years of experience, then you're at 65 cents a mile. 10 cents of that is per diem, so you've got 55 cents a mile that's taxed and 10 cents that is not taxed. And then the increases, those are all taxable income. So that's above the per diem amounts. I'm trying to think of where I was going. We do have minimum pay across the board. So we have in our over-the-road refrigerated division and our more regional refrigerated as well. So whether you're 2 to 3 weeks out at a time or you're 11 days out at a time, we have the minimum pay as option. And I say option, but really it's there. You can either get that minimum pay because there were some variables out of your hand, or you can get your cents per mile. But either way, you want to make sure that you meet all of the requirements for that minimum pay. And those minimum requirements, they're pretty basic. They're be available for dispatch at least 5 days out of the week, okay? No load refusals, no driver service failures, so no late loads, no preventable accidents, no CSA violations, and getting your paperwork in on time. Now, what's really important is that you're maximizing your hours of service. So you're showing that you're available. So that's where the being available 5 days out of the week comes into account. And I'm talking refrigerated right now. So with refrigerated, you could be available on a Saturday or a Sunday and that would still count towards your 5 days of available, because refrigerated freight is a little bit different than our flatbed freight. Technically, you need to be available 5 days out of the week, Monday through Friday in flatbed. That's not the same in refrigerated, because that kind of freight, refrigerated freight, runs all week long, right? So keep that in mind as well. Let's see, for the minimum pay, I'm trying to think of requirements, any other advice for you on the requirements. Paperwork needs to be in by by 10 p.m. Sorry, I was thinking with the holiday. It needs to be in by 10 p.m. on Tuesday night, in order to get paid Friday. So it's a pretty quick turnaround. Tuesday night for Friday pay. And the miles that you get in, the loads you get in and everything, by Tuesday night, that's what's paid on Friday. Whether you are getting paid your rate of pay per mile and the miles that you run, or if you're getting paid the minimum pay. And so this is how this works. Let's say, trying to get, for instance here, you've made yourself available 5 days out of the week. You haven't had a CSA violation or a preventable accident or a late load. You haven't refused to load, and your paperwork's in. I mean, you've maximized your hours of service, right? So that minimum pay is, okay, so this last weekend, we had to make a phone call and message all of our drivers who were in the Midwest. Iowa got hit really hard with ice, okay? That's not the best time to be driving, right? And so in some areas, we're letting our professional drivers know, hey, you know what? You're the eyes and ears, and you're the individual out there. We rely on you to make that safe judgment call, okay? That said, if you need to park it, just let your driver leader know. As long as you're communicating with our operations department, we're going to have a good understanding of why you're not moving, why that load didn't make it. Weather, like WEATHER, weather is out of our control, right? And so we have to adapt to that. If that weather is going to put you in an unsafe position, in jeopardy, then yeah, you need to park it. And we understand that. But just let us know so that we can communicate that further on. Now, not everybody did, because not everybody was affected by the ice. And that's fine. And in that case, we pass that information on to the customer so that they know when to expect that load or when not to expect that load, that it won't be a little bit. So that's really important. But coming back full circle into that example, if you're not able to make that run and maybe you don't have the miles for that week, that's not one of the criteria for the minimum pay. The minimum pay is when you can't get that over and above that 1,000, right? So we make up the difference. Decker makes up the difference. If you were short, maybe with your rate of pay per mile and the miles you ran, maybe you only made $900 that week because of maybe this situation or another. If that's the case, Decker makes that $100 difference, makes up the difference so that you do get at least that $1,000. Now, keep in mind, just like anything else, that $1,000 will be taxed. At least 10 cents per mile will be taxed, so that'll be figured in. That's why sometimes if you're getting the minimum pay and maybe that 10 cents per mile isn't on all of it, well, it's because the difference between your mileage pay that you were getting and that minimum pay, if there's no miles in between there, then that part won't be per diemed, right? Because it's 10 cents per mile. Hopefully that makes sense. In my head that made sense, but if not, I'll come around a different angle and explain that. So yeah, that's how the minimum pay works, and it's just really a safety net for you in case something comes up and out of your control. As long as you've made the other requirements, being available for dispatch, no load refusals, no late loads, no CSA violations, no preventable accidents, you're maximizing your hours and you're getting your paperwork in on time. Those are the criteria. That's it. All right? All right. Let's see. Sean says, do I get 1 cent for being a military vet? Yes, you do. So if you were, if you have military experience, then yes, you do get an additional penny per mile for that military experience. Now, if you had over 2 years of experience as a veteran, 2 years of military experience, I should specify, then you'll get an extra 2 cents a mile. So it's either 1 if it's less than 2 years, or 2 if it's above 2 years experience. So yes, we do definitely pay extra for the military experience. Speaking of military, I need to do a shout out. This past weekend, Lyle Turville, and you guys probably heard me talk about Lyle because another Great Falls individual, right? Lyle delivered to multiple locations in Iowa this last week as part of the Wreaths Across America, which is a nonprofit association that partners with trucking companies, partners with several, but trucking companies being one of them, and they deliver these wreaths to veterans and memorials, and so that they can put them on the veteran graves. That during the Christmas season, during the holiday season. So that is for all veterans. This is the second year that we got to be part of this, and it's actually the second year that Lyle got to do it as well. And I wish I had the link, but he did an interview this last year as well, Lyle did, about the Wreaths Across America, and it was just very touching to hear what he had to say and how he felt to be part of that. And then I got to do it again this year. So that said, we will be taking entries for anybody who wants to be part of that next year so that we can again partner with Wreaths Across America. Because one of the statements Lyle said was, I would love to do this every year. He enjoyed it. I'm paraphrasing here, by the way, but he enjoyed it, would love to do it every year. However, he did make the comment that if there was somebody else within the Decker family who wanted to be part of it, wanted to experience it, he would highly suggest that we give that honor to them, because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, which he got to do twice. All right. And Sean, I think I said this yesterday too, but there were a lot of local individuals who were putting together those wreaths as well here in Montana. So it was pretty fun to see. Dean says Meridian, Mississippi must be a hotspot. He delivered dry van here, and 2 other trucks were picking up at the TGET customer and the truck stop. He's seen a lot of Decker refrigerated and flatbed. Yeah, it is a busy area for sure. We do hire out of Meridian, Mississippi, for both refrigerated and flatbed. We've also, and this might be part of it as well, I was trying to think of some of the new wins that we've gotten here at Decker the last couple of weeks, and we'll be updating. We actually have quite a few updates to share, but within the marketplace, within the economy, or the industry, I should say, Decker has won some additional flatbed and refrigerated loads per week, so we're going to continue to see those wins. Our goal is to continue to improve and build these partnerships for really to benefit the individual, the driver themselves, so that they're getting more home time opportunity, more mile opportunities, and consistency. So we're continuing to build that. But yeah, with one of our latest wins, and I say one because that's the one that we've shared. We'll share more next week. But with the number of flatbed, we've an additional 75 loads a week in the flatbed side, and an additional 5 with this specific company. This is just the one company that an additional 5 in the refrigerated side. So yeah, and those are going live this week. So a lot of you guys might be seeing those right out of the gate. That But the Meridian one, that's not part of it, now that I say that. We've got some in Tyler, Texas, in Illinois, in Oklahoma, in Wyoming. Cheyenne was one of them, but that, at least not of this specific freight wind on that one. But yeah, more to come on that. But it is definitely a busy area, Dean. All right. So we talked a little bit about refrigerated. Now let's just hit a little bit on the flatbed division. Our flatbed is also an over-the-road opportunity if you're running out of the Bessemer division, and that's not coast to coast per se. We don't really do a whole lot that's going to be west of Denver when it comes to flatbed. Most of it's up and down the Midwest and towards the east. From Texas to the Carolinas, really busy. Mississippi, yes, but I meant to say Memphis. The Tennessee area is super busy. And we actually have home weekly if you live from Bessemer, Alabama, along 20, Bessemer, Alabama to Atlanta, Georgia. Now, that's not your running area. I do want to make sure that is clear. That is not your running area. However, that is the hiring area for the home weekly. The running area is going to be very similar to our over-the-road, where it's a lot of the Midwest as well as a lot of, anything east of there. So it's just the I-20 there, the 20 from Bessemer to Alabama to Atlanta, Georgia. That's just heavier freight volume in that location. So that's why we can get you home on a weekly basis versus a over the road and every other weekend basis in the flatbed. And yes, like I mentioned with the refrigerated division, or when I was talking about the refrigerated division, flatbed is more home on the weekends. It not guaranteed, but it's more common to be home on a Friday night or a Saturday morning and then go back out either Sunday night or Monday morning, early Monday morning, for a Monday morning delivery. But that's more common in the flatbed division than it is in the refrigerated, because refrigerated is just pumping through every single day, 7 days a week, right? In either case, we do have 24/7 maintenance support and roadside assistance. So you've got the support 24/7, but most of the runs, the loads are not pickup or delivering on a Saturday night or a Sunday, morning, something like that. So not in flatbed, at least. There could be some one-offs, but for the majority, good understanding. Now, what else can I tell you? For flatbed, that one is also a minimum of $1,000 a week for the pay. Your rate of pay per mile and the miles you run, a little bit different. So if you have 15 plus years of experience, you're at our max right now, which would be 70 cents a mile. But if you have 6-7 years of experience in flatbed, you're looking at starting at 65 cents a mile. Again, 10 cents per mile is per diem, so you're not taxed on 10 cents a mile. You'll get a penny raise after 90 days. You'll get a penny raise annually. And you do need to tarp and secure. So if you don't have tarping and securement experience, we do train for that. You have to have at least 6 months of over-the-road experience let me rephrase that. You have to have at least a year of over-the-road tractor trailer experience before we can train for over-the-road flatbed securement, tarping and securement training. But if you're brand new to the industry and you're going to be located within the Midwest, then we can train right away. More requirements on that one. So if you are in the Midwest and you're looking to hire on with Decker, I highly suggest that you reach out to our recruiting department so that you can get specifics on what orientation looks like, what training looks like, what the requirements are. 877-433-2537. That's a telephone number right there that you can get a hold of for recruiting. The only other requirement is being a recent graduate of an approved school, of course, is the major one in order to qualify for our training. But in our over-the-road division, like I said, at least 6 months of flatbed specific experience or 1 year of tractor trailer. And with 1 year of tractor trailer experience, we can then train you in securement, tarping and securing. We also offer on our YouTube channel, we offer some training videos that you guys can access. We also offer those training videos on our TransFlow app. So if you are already part of the Decker family and you need those additional training or want to kind of review, with maybe you're picking up a load that you don't normally pick up and you weren't 100% positive how the securement needs to be. That's what those videos are for. Tanner took the time to do some demonstrations and take advantage of it. Tanner is one of our trainers. Well, let me rephrase that. He is in the training department, so he's a trainer there, but he's not an over-the-road trainer. Yes, he drives. He's driven for us, and he continues to drive, but he doesn't do the over-the-road training with our new drivers. There's a difference. But yeah, he's part of the training department. He does a really good job of breaking things down, thank goodness for him. And the patience he has with me. All right. So that's a little bit about some of the positions that we have. Our Midwest Flatbed Division with Home Weekly, we have a much broader area in the Midwest, so we can get Home Weekly in the Flatbed Division. That one does have a minimum pay of $14.50 a week instead of $1,000. Reason being, a lot heavier volumes. So you're tarping and securing a lot more because you're running some shorter runs than you would be if you were, running out of, say, Bessemer or something like that. So in the Midwest, the upper Midwest, a lot of shorter runs with that flatbed division. But that's why we have the higher minimum pay available to you. And yes, you're tarping and securing. You're doing a lot of that as well. Your rate of pay per mile is going to be the same whether you're over the road, home weekly, or home every other weekend for the flatbed division. And that's based on your experience level. So like I said, if you have, for instance, if you've got 6 months of experience, you're starting at 56 cents a mile, all the way up to 70 cents a mile if you have over 15 years of experience. Okay, so stay tuned for more updates on that here in the next couple of months or so. Fair enough? All right. Benefits. Benefits start after 60 days. And if you've been part of the Decker family, you know that we just had our open enrollment period, and those changes will go into effect the first of the year. Can you guys believe that it's almost 2025? To me, that just seems crazy. Every year, faster and faster. So yes, those changes will go into effect on January 1st. Please make sure within the first couple of weeks of January that you are checking your pay stubs and make sure that the correct amount is coming out. The reason I say that is whenever there's changes and we've got our third party taking care of our benefits for us so that we can take care of the trucking, then they've already made the phone call to you, they've double checked everything, but we want to make sure that we are checking all the way along. So I know they've made the phone call to you, they've double checked with you on what you wanted for coverage, they've confirmed the amount for you. We just want that one last confirmation from you that yes, it is being taken care of, the correct amount is being taken out as of January. So you can't look now because that's not going to matter. It'll be after January. We definitely had some savings. Well, actually, you're not going to see a whole lot of savings from this last year, but big picture, you would have seen a lot of savings because our current provider actually was going to increase about 24%. So we saved that. Plus, we no longer have to worry about that network. So doctors, I was going to say drivers, our doctors are all in that network. So you don't have to worry about whether or not they're in there. Your prescription plans, there's no changes to that. So even though you're going to be keeping your eye open for the new card, that new card will also have your prescription information on it, but your current prescription information, that's going to stay the same. So you can use your prescription card that you have now and continue to use that. It'll just be updated. The actual health card will be updated with your prescription information, so it has all of it in one location, but that part is not changing. We do have, of course, dental, vision, the prescription, like I said, it's $0 copays on generic, and then we have $0 copays on specialty and what's the other one I want? Brand name. prescriptions. So there's a lot of savings there for you guys, or can be if you're on any prescription that you're seeing on a regular basis. So, what else can I tell you? We take care of company paid life insurance. Vacation is 1 week after your first 6 months, and then you get 2 weeks, 1 week after your first 6 months, then you get another week on your 1 year anniversary. You'll get 2 weeks after you've been here for 3 years, and you'll get 3 weeks when you get here for 7 years. So each year you're gonna get a new, a new vacation or new PTO. So the second year you'll get your week of PTO. Your third, fourth, fifth, sixth year, you'll be getting 2 weeks every year on your anniversary. Your 7th, 8th, 9th, and so on will be 3 weeks on your anniversary each time. So yes, you'll be seeing those increases. Yes. If you have any questions, please reach out to the recruiting department. Like I said, 877-433-2537. Excellent. All right. Same goes for refrigerated and flatbed when it comes to the military pay. The extra penny per mile, if you've got 2 years or less in military experience, 2 years or more would get you an extra 2 cents a mile because of your military experience. So you get that extra. Yeah. Now, equipment. We haven't talked a whole lot about equipment lately, but we do have mostly the 579 Peterbilts. We have a few Volvos, and we have a few Freightliner Cascadia Evolutions. The majority, 579 Peterbilts. That said, we do have some 589 Peterbilts, which are brand new. Those usually go to our veteran drivers. Well, the 389s usually go to our veteran drivers. And I've noticed that some of these 589s have gone to the more veteran drivers as well. We only have a few of those so far. 10, I think. 10 so far. And they seem to be pretty good. So it sounds like we're going to be ordering more of those. More information to come on that. But they are all automatics. They have APUs and refrigerators and microwaves and inverters and double bunk trucks. They've got 22-inch televisions with the Epic View programming, the streaming. So that's company paid. Plus we have free Wi-Fi through the streaming of Epic View. So we've got that available to you as well. We have CB units in all of the trucks. We have our safety system, which is our Lytx, and that does include both an inward and an outward facing event recorder, lane departure, speed gauge, following distance. All of those things are part of the Lytx system. Also part of not only the Lytx system, but our safety features altogether. There is not a live feed. I know that's a question I get all the time. So no live feed in the Lytx system. However, it will kick on during a critical event. So you'll get, I think, 20-second recording during a critical event. Is it 20 or 10? I think it's 20. Okay, so that said, when you turn the truck off, the interior video is off. Like, that's off. It doesn't kick on even if you get hit. Whereas the outward facing recorder, that one is on for 4 hours once you turn the truck off. So that one stays recording for 4 hours. So if you're in like a parking lot, makes it kind of handy. So it kind of protects you a little bit there. Like I said, we have APU units on all the trucks, except for the Freightliners. The Freightliners have the Opta idle instead of the APU. Works very, very similar. So either way, you've got your inverter. You're still putting it. You're still turning everything off when you're going to on home time. Things like that. It's going to take care of your truck, your battery, and all of that, like the APU. Yeah. Okay. What am I missing? I was trying to think of what else for amenities. There's a lot of amenities in the truck, so I don't want to miss any of those. And yes, it is company paid. The exception is the Sirius Radio. So if you want to listen to Sirius Radio, or if you want to subscribe, then you are responsible for the subscription. However, I mentioned earlier that we have Epic View and we have the free Wi-Fi. So if you want to stream we have that free streaming available to you that you'll be able to take advantage of. So yeah. Dean says 10 before and 10 after, so 20. Yeah, see, that's what I thought it was as well, as 20 total. But and what he means by before and after is before the critical event. So it's 10 before the critical event. So if you had a side swipe, so if somebody swiped you, then it's going to have the 10 seconds before and the 10 seconds after that it'll record. Otherwise, it's just running, on the outward one. But like I said, there's not a live feed. Nobody can opt into it and watch it. We don't have that option. They do have that option available. It's not one that we opted in for. Dean says APU, greatest thing ever. It is pretty awesome. Do you remember before we even had the APUs? I remember we tried some out years ago, and the maintenance on them was a lot. Just like anything else, you get some great equipment, and when it's mechanical or electronic or anything like that, there's going to be maintenance on it, right? There's going to be, and it was just really expensive, so we didn't end up doing full APUs initially, and then we went. I think this one was 2017. We pretty much went all in on APUs, and for all of our trucks, that was a great addition to our equipment because, there's a number of things. What if you have a CPAP? If you have a CPAP, you need an APU or an inverter, right? You need that. Plus, if, with the refrigerator, with the bunk heaters, with now with the TVs and the microwaves, we have a lot of amenities in the truck. Can you imagine how difficult that would be if we didn't have the APU to go along with it? You'd be missing out with a lot of that. So, anyways, APUs are fantastic. Now, if you run into a hiccup with the APU, and you got to do a little bit of troubleshooting, I almost took out my tree. If you've got to do a little bit of troubleshooting, then we do have a couple of videos, not only on our TransFlow app, our Decker TransFlow app, you can access them there, but we also have a few videos on troubleshooting and maintenance for the APUs on our YouTube channel. So mosey around on our YouTube channel and you'll find it. But we have that also available. A couple of different units. We have the Tri-Pack, we have the OptIdle, but it walks through all of that with you. So whether it's the APU or the heater that you're looking for troubleshooting tips, we've got both. And what I would suggest is if you're looking for one of them, look for the specific truck that you have. We have a Volvo video. No, excuse me. We have a Volvo and Peterbilt video with their respected APUs. But then we also have a very long Freightliner video that was provided to us by the Freightliner dealership. And in there, thankfully, they've got it chapterized. So it bookmarks where that information is at. And they tell you how to troubleshoot and how to fix the heater or how to use it. But that one's a long video. But if you go into the description, it actually breaks down. This is when they talk about this, and this. But yeah, that's on our YouTube channel as well. You'll be able to access all of that if you have questions. Take advantage of it. All right. So yes, the trucks are very well maintained. They're newer model. And of course, coming into 2025, we'll continue to get new trucks and those rotated out. So we'll have more updates for you as additional trucks come in. Usually we see that around April, May. Hopefully not less. Now during the pandemic, those were spread out. We waited a long time for those. Not as much as some, but we did wait. I don't know, Dean. I'm going to do some double checking. I need to talk to Mal about it. Dean said that, hang on. Dean says he heard that we ordered some new Freightliners with APUs instead of the OptIdle. So with OptIdle, one thing that we had to change and we don't have a lot of Freightliners, you guys, so we do have some, but like 96% of our trucks are the Peterbilts. So that you can kind of have an idea when we only have about 800 trucks, you can kind of see that, That's a significant difference between the number of Freightliners and Volvos. You know, those 6% or 4% are really a combination of both Volvos and Freightliners. And then, of course, the majority being Peterbilts. But that said, if we did go back to the APUs, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised, and then we'd all be consistent. But with our monthly bonuses, we did make some adjustments because the OptiIdle, with our lytic system, it had to, or with some of our hardware, it didn't read it as well as idle on some of our other trucks with the APU. So finally, we were able to get that figured out. Was it October? It hasn't been that long. So that's why I guess I'd be surprised if we didn't. But I don't know. We'll find out. I'll find out. We'll get details on that. That's a good comment there, Dean. We'll find that out for you. And for myself. I want to know. That said, we'll get those details. Speaking of bonuses, this week, today actually, we'll be paying out our monthly bonuses. We have our scorecard and our safety bonus. The safety bonus is part of the lytic system that I talked about, and if you have a 0, score-wise, if you have a 0, that's a perfect score. That's ideal in the safety, and ideal on the scorecard is 1,000. So you want the lowest on the safety, and you want the highest on the scorecard. And of course, the payout is going to be based off of the best scores. So you get an extra penny per mile on the safety side, and you can get an extra 4 cents a mile on the company side for the scorecard. So if you got, maybe you lost points for fuel compliance or miles or on-time delivery or something like that, then you could still make the pay. As long as you're 825 or above, you'll get an extra 1 to 4 cents more per mile. So it all depends. We had 174 drivers, company drivers, who earned the scorecard on the company side. I already said that. And then we had, on the owner-operator lease purchase side, we had about 22 who earned a bonus there. So a little over 26,000 paid out in the scorecard bonus. And we paid out another 22,000 in the safety bonus alone. So we had 272 company drivers who earned a safety bonus, and 19 owner-operator lease purchase drivers who earned a safety bonus. On average, between the scorecard and the safety bonus, our company drivers earned an extra a little over $200 on average, where the owner-operators lease purchase drivers, on average, between the safety and the scorecard. Now, I do want to point out, with the scorecard, that's an extra 3 cents a mile that max that you can get versus 4 cents a mile as a company driver. So there's a little bit different. But that said, with our owner-operators, they still did average a little over $270, I think, $270 more a month. Now that's average, because obviously some of those drivers are going to get a little bit higher and some of them a little bit lower. But that's average between those who earned it. We had 4 owner-operator lease purchase drivers who earned a perfect score on the scorecard: Anthony Clayton, Frank Homan, Shane Lund, and Thomas Norris. So congratulations to those 4. And then we also had our company drivers who had a perfect score: Robert Anderson, Tyler Ash, Larry Dew, David Hemby, Irving Kilberg, Darren Ladley, Jeremy Moritz, Todd Overson, Jesse Porter, sorry, Jess, Robert Skiles, and Michael Vandehey, all receiving perfect scores on the company side. So congratulations. And now that is the scorecard. That means they got a full 1,000 points across the board on that one. As far as the safety, I didn't even count the number. We had quite a few perfect scores on the safety as a company driver and as an owner-operator. I'll have to get all those numbers. Otherwise, I would be here. You'll have to watch our Facebook Live, because I do go through and I announce everybody's name on there who had the perfect safety score. You guys, there's quite a few of them, so I can't, I don't want to take too much of your time on that. Congratulations, either way. That's a huge huge accomplishment, and definitely prioritizing safety. Thanks, you guys. What else is happening this week here at Decker? Oh, we also announced our calendar winners. You guys should be seeing a little something in the mail here soon, so keep your eyes peeled. But we did announce our calendar winners. I have a video coming up on our Facebook page here later this afternoon that will be releasing some of those images. Absolutely beautiful pictures. Thank you guys so much for all of your submissions. If you want to submit one of your photos, truck photos, for the calendar, you can send it into marketing@deckermail.com. You can also send it through Facebook, which would be facebook.com/DTL Inc. We have a lot of that. Here at Decker, kind of giving you a little bit of heads up on a few things. Shop hours are going to be changed next Tuesday, right? Yeah. Christmas is on Wednesday. So Tuesday, the 24th, the shops will be closing. Well, the Fort Dodge truck trailer shop, the inspection lane, the wash bay, the prep shop, the decal shop, all closing at 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve, the 24th, Tuesday the 24th. And 3:30 actually will be the body shop closing. In Des Moines, 4:30 the shop will close. Bessemer will be 5:30. And then in Missoula, Hammond, Mediapolis, that's all at 4:30 p.m. that it'll close. And then all of them will be opening back up Thursday morning at 7 a.m. That's December 26th. And you'll see a repeat of that schedule the following week when it comes to New Year's. So the holidays are here. Love it. I love it. I think it's fun. So a little festive. But that usually comes with some weather. So please be aware. Take your time. Manage, pre-plan. Please, always pre-plan. And when you are coming into areas that you know are going to be having some weather, make sure that you're giving yourself plenty of time. Also, that you're adding the fuel additive. We did put an extra $35 on the cards for any if you need to get any additive for your fuel, and then we will recoup that. We'll continue to put that on there to make sure that your fuel has the additive. We use Penray at the shops. You can pick it up there. Centray, we've got Centene, and Penray. We've got, you can use others. When you're out on the road, you can use others. Those are just usually what we have at the shop. Just make sure that you are reading the labels to make sure that you are putting the correct amount in for the number of gallons of fuel that you put in. And yeah, that'll cover. Because that's going to take care of your reefer unit. That'll take care of your truck. All of it. Keeping you safe. Running that. Because if you gel up, that cuts down in your time. That cuts a big chunk of time out for you for the week. Because odds are, if you're going to gel up, you're probably, other people are probably running into that same problem. And then the tow trucks and whoever coming out for the repair or for the help, they're probably delayed because they're helping others. It just really takes a lot of your time in there. And it's quite expensive to get them out there and degelled. So it adds up. Pre-plan. Use the stuff. It helps. So temperature-wise, if you're wondering what temperature should I put it in, anything 18 degrees or below. All right, 18 degrees or below. You'll want to add that. If you're going into 18 degrees or below. So if you're coming from Oklahoma or Meridian, Mississippi, and you're headed into, let's say Fort Dodge, you're headed into Fort Dodge, Iowa, and you know that the temperature is going to be 10 degrees, well, then you better be adding the additive to protect yourself, right? There you go. Yes. Covering yourself. There you go. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for joining me today. We'll continue to provide more information for you as the end of the year comes to a close, but starting 2025 here in the next week and a half, right? All right. You guys, thank you again for joining me today. If you have any questions that you'd like to speak to a recruiter about, please reach out to them at 877-433-2537. What are you worried about, Dean? What are you worried about? He says, I'm worried. Oh, 2025. Well, we'll keep you updated and filled in on all the details. Should be good. All right, take care, you guys. Appreciate your time.